Hi guys, what's up? It's Casey. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I feel like that intro is so cheesy and so generic, but I don't know how else to like do it. Okay. Anyways, so what's up? Hi guys, my name is Casey. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm gonna be your tour guide. Yeah, this is some information the internet should not have. But I live in Washington. Washington is probably most well known for our numerous serial killers. just kidding. When you think of Washington, most likely you think like Space Needle, Pike Place, Seattle, Washington. It's really kind of actually not that big of a city, downtown area of Seattle. And I'm there quite a bit. And I actually get asked quite often things to do in Seattle. Touristy and non-touristy things. I thought I'd just name a few. I don't know how many I'm gonna name. Plus some like tips and tricks about like, you know, what to do in Seattle and like how to go about being in Seattle. So let's get started. So the number one thing people come here to see is probably Pike Place. It is this little open farmer's market kind of place where people sell flowers, knickknacks, things they've made, t-shirts, sweatshirts, souvenirs, like all kinds of stuff. That is where the first Starbucks is. And fun fact, that is actually the second Starbucks ever built because back in the day, there was a giant like Seattle fire and it burned down a big part of Seattle. And one of the things that burned down was the first Starbucks. So yeah, whenever people come to Seattle, they think they're getting coffee from the first Starbucks, but actually it's the second one. I mean, it's in the same place, but it's like not the first one. Don't get coffee there. The lines are long, kind of depending on what time you get there. Like the earliest I've ever like walked past it and there wasn't a line was probably like 5 in the morning and nobody's up at that time really. Some people are, but it gets busy around like 6:30 and it stays busy throughout the day. There are tons and tons and tons of other Starbucks near Pike Place. You know what you can do? Ooh, kind of itchy. Something you can do is before you actually go down to Pike Place from whatever you're going to, buy a cup of coffee from a different Starbucks and just take a picture in front of the first Starbucks. Problem solved, you don't have to wait for lines, you still get your picture. It's fun, it's really cool. Some things to kind of note about Pike Place. It is very, very busy, but it kind of depends on what time you go during the day. Obviously, during like lunchtime, it's getting really busy. During evening time, around like 4 or 5, it gets kind of busy. Be mindful of traffic. And that's one of my first kind of like tips is if you don't have to drive into Seattle, don't. First of all, parking fees are ridiculous. You pay like 20 bucks or more for a whole day. Ugh. I mean, you can, there's no problem with that, like spending parking money, but like everything is so close in quarters that you can either like hop on the bus, hop on the light rail, hop on like the monorail or something, and it'll take you right to your destination. You just gotta watch just a little bit. So here in Seattle, we have a light rail that goes from SeaTac, which is where the airport is, down to, I believe, UW District, which is like the college, and any place in between pretty much there. And then if you get off on Westlake, which is like the main kind of stop where you get off in downtown Seattle, you literally walk 1 block up to the monorail, and the monorail will take you to Seattle Center. Now, Seattle Center is really cool. There's a lot of like family attraction stuff that you guys can do over there. Sorry, my back is really itchy. This tag has like been bothering me this entire video. There's a lot of museums over there, kind of things to do with that are kid friendly, like the Mopop, which is the, it used to be the EMP, but now it's the Mopop, but it's like modern something like pop music or yeah, something like that. I don't really know exactly off the top of my head, but it's like this Mopop. Also near the Mopop is the Pacific Science Center, which is really, really kid friendly. It's super cool. It's kind of for all ages actually. Like they have a ton of exhibits. It's always changing. It's really, really fun. Also, the Seattle Art Museum or the SAM is actually in downtown. You can get off on University if you're taking the light rail. But yeah, you just walk a couple blocks down and the SAM is right there. It's where like this huge like hammer structure is out in the very front, so you cannot miss it. They also have like a kid area and like interactive things that you guys can do in the art museums. Not like most museums where you can't really like touch stuff, but at the SAM there are like little drawing stations and little kid areas that you guys can kind of hang out in. The LeMay Car Museum is not quite in Seattle, but it is a really cool museum if you guys want to kind of get out of the city. I don't remember where it is off the top of my head, but if you are into cars and stuff, it's a really nice kind of change of museum. There's also the Museum of Flight, which is really cool. Like Seattle has a bunch of museums and a bunch of like attractions that have to kind of based around like history and stuff, which is super cool. Also, if you're in Seattle Center, you guys can check out the I'm gonna butcher this so bad. This garden. It's super cool. It's in Seattle Center, right off the monorail. Really nice. and it's near the Space Needle. So, Seattle Space Needle. Everybody goes and sees it. I personally have been living in Washington for a long time, and I have never, ever been up in the Space Needle. And I honestly think that it's not worth it. I mean, it's super cool. Yeah, you can see the whole Seattle skyline, but there are other options to see in the skyline from higher up. The Space Needle is a tourist attraction. It's like what everybody goes and sees and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that if you want to see it like that. There are other observatories such as like Smith Tower, or you can go to Cary Park, which is super nice. It's up in Queen Anne. Or you guys can go on the Seattle Great Wheel, which is on the waterfront by Westlake Center. You just kind of take some stairs down onto the waterfront. It's super nice, really pretty, really romantic. And during the year, the lights change on the Ferris wheel, and like it changes colors, like either purple or blue or green. It's really pretty. Yeah. Always bring a coat. Like it could be like just a windbreaker or a light coat or something. Just always have a coat on you because the weather kind of shifts throughout the day. Washington's kind of unpredictable when it comes to like weather throughout the day. Sometimes in the morning it'll start off really cold and foggy. Towards the afternoon it'll get really sunny and stuff. It just kind of depends on like the whole season. If you guys kind of want to get out of the city but still want to like see some scenic stuff about Seattle, you guys can go to Alki Beach Park. It's actually across the water from Seattle, so when you're at Alki Beach you can see like the entire like Seattle like skyline or like buildings like across. It's really pretty. Also, Gasworks Park is really cool. It has like these really industrial copper like buildings. It has like these really big like lumpy hills and walkways and stuff. People always bring their dogs, so you can pet people's dogs and stuff. And yeah. And then Golden Garden, kind of an alternative to go to a place where it's not as populated, but still really pretty. So those are kind of my things to do in Seattle. Comment below, you know, some stuff you've done in Seattle that I didn't list. And things I listed are very touristy, but like when you Google like things to do in Seattle, it kind of just gives you the gist of everything, but they don't really tell you like what to expect. I hope this video kind of helped you guys out if any of you are thinking of traveling here to Seattle. It's super nice, super pretty. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye.